Right. Ritu, can we hear you? Or
Ritu? Ritu
Talk.
is ready.
Mm.
I think there's some technical issue.
We can see Dr. Ritu.
रोकिया शायद क्लोजिंग आपका है क्लोजिंग शायद आपका है देख लो
Okay, I'll check it.
या
चलो So how long have you been there in Siliguri now? You're muted. Arundhati, you're muted.
Yeah, sure. It's been almost 13 years now that I've been in Siliguri.
13 years. Okay, that's nice. I had a batchmate who was also called Arundhati, and she was from Guwahati Medical College. Her name is Arundhati Barua. Now she is in Mumbai.
Okay. Guwahati Medical College. Okay, that's my college.
Yeah, she did first MBBS from Guwahati Medical, and then she moved to Grand Medical.
Okay.
Where she was my batchmate. So, and she's now professor at D.Y. Patil. D.Y. Patil Medical College in Navi Mumbai.
That's nice.
How is Shillong different than Siliguri?
Very different. Very
Yeah.
different. Shillong is a hill station. It's like, the hill stations are very different from the plains. You know, everything about hill station is different. From the time people wake up to the time they sleep, and the thought pattern, the lifestyle. Shillong is a very westernized place. This is a place where even a person who's like maybe selling chips or something knows English, fluent enough to speak. Shillong is a very different kind of environment, and Siliguri is close to the hills. Yeah, Siliguri is close to Darjeeling. There is an influence of the hills here, but then again, it's a place in West Bengal, which is very different from Meghalaya. Yeah, it's a lot different. Because patterns are different. People behavior is different. Expectations are different. Everything is different.
Okay.
Can we start?
Yes.
Did we start?
Hello everyone. I'm sorry, something wrong with my system today, so it just was running haywire. Finally, I'm on. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good to have you back again.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Let's go live. So
And
I think
today we
Jignesh
got-
is not there.
Nand Kishore is there.
Nand Kishore, can you put us live?
Just 10 seconds. Ma'am.
Sure. Dr. Arundhati, you were able to go through the questions?
So I was just telling them I did go through the questions, but just once, and I thought, no, I'll answer impromptu, because if you're prepared, it kind of that feel is never there.
I agree. Sometimes
so I just thought whatever comes to my mind, I'm going to speak.
We are live, ma'am.
Let's go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So welcome everyone to yet another empowering edition of the Vibe Life, a heads log, this time with Dr. Arundhati Das Gupta. So welcome everyone to Dr. Arundhati Das Gupta.
Thank you so much.
The one that stands for Women Inspire, Build and Enhance is a platform dedicated to fostering women's excellence. It brings together women doctors from diverse specialties to share knowledge, leadership experiences, and personal journeys that inspire both growth as well as collaboration. There are four fundamental pillars that form the vibe: physical well being, mental health, financial wisdom, and professional excellence. Through its various initiatives, the vibe strives to build a strong community of women professionals who uplift one another and redefine the landscape of healthcare leadership. I'm Ritu Johari, consultant diabetologist and metabolic expert, practicing in western suburbs of Mumbai. I have a unique diverse background with decade and a half spent in pharma industry, And now, lessons last half a decade treating diabetes, thyroid, and obesity. Besides clinical practice, I also contribute to research and medical writing as co founder of RFECT, a medical marketing agency. But what brings me utmost pleasure in sharing with all of you is the introduction of this exclusive, vibrant initiative, The Vibe, as a founder of one of its kind platform with amazing women that you can see across the screen. I'm blessed to be complimented by my husband, who's an orthopedic surgeon, and a family feels complete with a teen son and a toddler daughter. With that, let me introduce you to our team vibe, Dr. Lotika.
Hi, good afternoon to all our viewers, and good afternoon and warm welcome to Arundhati. We're so happy to have you with us today on our Vibe Live Hexalog. I am Dr. Lotika Purohit, a diabetologist and a lifestyle medicine physician practicing in Kulava in Mumbai since the last 3 decades. I'm also visiting faculty with the JJ Group of Hospital and the Police Hospital. And I'm part of the National Executive of the Research Society for Study of Diabetology in India. I'm partnered by my husband, Dr. Suresh Purohit, and we have a company which is more popularly called the Sugar Doctor Medicare. I'm a mother to an artist and an entrepreneur, and I thoroughly enjoy treating people with diabetes, especially now working with the lifestyles of theirs, and it really gives a lot of pleasure. Also, I enjoy some amount of traveling, some amount of cooking healthy food, because today we don't know what is healthy and what is not, and how we should, be looking after ourselves. And what really gives us a lot of happiness is this Wednesday afternoon initiative, which we have now for the last 9-10 months, wherein we get a woman physician who's a star achiever in her field to talk with us about what are her challenges and her life story. So really looking forward to hearing from you. I now hand over to Dr. Rukaiya for her introduction.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, Dr. Arundhati, and I'm Dr. Rukia Surya Sheikh. I'm a diabetes, thyroid, and an obesity specialist. I practice in Mumbai for the last 15 years. My clinic's name is Blue Circle Clinic. What I love most about medicine is not just about treating numbers, it's about understanding people and it being a part of their journey. Beyond the clinic, I'm a wife of a medical oncologist and a proud mother of 2 daughters. What I love beyond my clinic hours is I like to play Karen. I love traveling. I enjoy this wonderful company here and even many more friends, which, bring meaningful conversations. And recently, I've also started painting, little color and calm to the chaos of the daily lives. I'm absolutely delighted to hear about your journey today. And, welcome to the White Tribe. And it's so wonderful that you accepted our invitation. I look forward to learn, to share, and grow with you together. Over to you, Dr. Kavita.
Thanks, Dr. Rukia. Good afternoon, Dr. Arundhati. Welcome to the Vibe. Namaskar, everyone. I'm Dr. Kavita Rane. I've been practicing in Chembur as a diabetes and obesity expert. My clinic is called Diabetes Total. So for the past 15 years, I've been focusing on lifestyle medicine. We have a hospital called Rane Hospital, as well as a cath lab. So cardio diabetes is what I focus on. And apart from academics, I love to travel. So me and my father, we travel to Leh Ladakh, and I've had exhibitions of photography at Jahangir Art Gallery in 2019, Simrose Art Gallery in 2018. I love to paint. I love abstract art. I love music. EDM is my favorite, and I love these Wednesday vibe lives that I have with these girls, who are my favorites too. So over to Dr. Pranjali.
Thank you so much, Kavita, and good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Arundhati. I'm Dr. Pranjali Shah, Director and Chief Diabetologist at at Diabetes Clinic. It's in Mulund. I also handle internal operations at iHeal, which is led by my husband. He's a cornea transplant surgeon. Apart from handling young diabetics and treating them and helping them live longer and stronger, I believe in community awareness. So we do a lot of community awareness camps in central Mumbai. But if you don't find me in clinic, you will see me hiking or with my vibing girl on weekends, doing hiking, farming, spending time in animal shelters, helping the animals with my boys. And we look forward for this Wednesdays when we learn a lot of things from leaders like you. So welcome, and over to you, Dr. Ritu, for the next segment. Yeah.
Thank you so much, girls. So, Dr. Arundhati, you can see we are a diverse group of women, and we've been all just waiting to pounce on you for the
And very
different questions
dynamic,
that we have.
very dynamic group of women. I can see there. Wow.
Yes, so happy that we have your dynamism joining us today. So truly excited, and let me just lay down the context for our lovely audience here. So, dear audience, I would want to say that every stage of women's life actually tells a different story. But behind every chapter is the same author, which is her hormones. From puberty, fertility to pregnancy, menopause, and healthy aging. Hormones are the actual conductors who quietly influence every milestone. And yet, they remain one of the least understood aspects of women's health. Today, we are joined in by a dynamic woman, as you can see, who has devoted her life to decoding this remarkable story and empowering women of our society through knowledge, through science, and through compassion care. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Arundhati Das Gupta for the topic The Woman Who Continues to Decode the Female Metabolic Code, Hormonal Health Across Every Stage of a Woman's Life. Talking quickly about Dr. Arundhati, she's a distinguished endocrinologist, diabetologist, and a passionate advocate for women's hormonal health. With over decades of clinical excellence, Dr. Arundhati is she's a co-founder of Rudrak Super Speciality Care, a well-awarded one at that. A.V. Gandhi Award being one of the prestigious awards in her kitty, and so far as society awards as well. And she's also a very respected voice in endocrinology, from guiding women through the various stages of life to advancing awareness around metabolic health. She's dedicated her career to helping women understand how to manage or how to navigate the hormones across every stage of life. A privilege indeed to have you, Dr. Arundhati, with us. Welcome to
Thank you
the
so
Vibe Life
much.
Hexagon.
Thank
And
you.
a quick question now to you. How did you feel when you heard that we were inviting you for the Vibe Life Hexalog?
Oh, I felt absolutely over the moon. It was very nice. Thank you so much. And I went through some of the previous episodes, and they were so interesting, and I loved them. And I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it. I was hooked on to the entire episode, and I actually finished all the episodes. I loved the interaction and how people
Oh,
came out with their stories. And I absolutely admire how you're going about it, all you vibrant ladies, how you've started this thing, this conversation thing. It's so very important because we are generally meeting in some other conference or the other, we're talking science, that's all right. But at the end
absolutely.
of the day, there's so much more to talk about also, and it's so wonderful that you have decided to take it forward like this. So I really really appreciate this work. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the wonderful answer. And I'm just so touched that you watched our episodes. Thank you so much. So, with that, without further ado, let us start the episode and hope you enjoy. So, without further ado, Dr. Kavita, first segment over to you.
Thanks, Dr. Ritu. So firstly, everyone here, Guru, happy Guru Purnima. I am the youngest, and all of you are my gurus. So happy Guru Purnima also to Dr. Arundhati, and welcome. So our first segment says the dream that began it all. Every doctor has a story before the stethoscope. Long before the accolades, the patients, and the conferences, there was a young girl with dreams. Today, we begin not with endocrinology, but with knowing Dr. Arundhati. So, ma'am, tell us about the little girl who grew up in Siliguri. What shaped your childhood? A reflection on family, friends, and situations.
Well, actually, I was born in Shillong, which is like, yeah, the capital of Meghalaya. And as you know, it's a town, it's a hill station. And when you grow up in a smaller town, actually, there are a lot of people contributing to your childhood. It's just not your family, because I grew up in a joint family. But apart from that, we had our neighbors who were almost like extended family. Half the time we used to spend in some house in the colony, eating somewhere. Maybe Sundays would be like, eating here, sleeping in somebody else's house, playing in somebody
Yeah.
else's house. So we had that kind of a very close knit community when we grew up in Shillong. So, and it was, if any of you visited Shillong, you would know it's a beautiful town. There's a
Beautiful.
lot of greenery,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of rain. There's a lot of greenery, lots of clouds. It's called the Switzerland of the East. It's still, to me, the best, most beautiful place ever. I mean, that happens to everybody. Your childhood and your memories of that beautiful place always stay there fixed. So that was, my childhood. I stayed in Shillong till class 10. After which, because my father got transferred, he was in central government service, so he shifted to Assam, and I shifted to Guwahati, where I did my +2, and subsequently I did my MBBS, my MD, and DM. The next story there was, there onwards till DM. That was in Guwahati Medical College. So I think if you're asking about the little girl, uh, a lot of people, I would say, taught me a lot. I mean, being born in a middle class family, we all know that hard work, compassion, integrity are values that are kind of incorporated in every household. So those were there. But the importance of education, and also the importance of having people around you, that is something that really, really matters, because you grew up that way with so many people around you. So even now, when I'm like, as now, I mean, I stay with my husband and my son, and we don't have a very big family. So most of the time, I'm like looking around for friends. I'm
People.
going to spend my time
You
with a
got
lot of
us.
people around me.
You have
Yeah,
us.
I'm never going to be left alone. Yeah, so that thing has stayed on, I think. Yeah.
Right, right. So, was medicine always your calling, or did life guide you towards it? Like, why endocrinology? What fascinated you about hormones?
So medicine, as in, yeah, my maternal uncle was a doctor. He was a medicine specialist, and I grew up seeing him. And he used to go there with all his suit and he had a compounder, used to carry his briefcase, kind of a thing. Those were the days. And so, and
Yeah.
when I grew up seeing him, I'm like, wow, this is the kind of life I want to have. And that was the initial stage. That's when I started my MBBS. And
Right.
once I completed, while I was doing my MBBS, I never thought about which specialty. But when I was in the
Mm.
internship, I did think that, okay, medicine does appeal to me a lot more than other, branches. I would not have been a very good surgeon, I think. So I was thinking of medicine, this line, the non-surgical departments, and medicine did appeal to me. Thankfully, I got through the entrance exams. And subsequently, about endocrinology, I'll say that uh, while studying medicine, the importance of endocrinology kind of grew on me. Initially, I used to think that, I'll become a cardiologist. The first year of MD, I thought I'll be a cardiologist. I want to study cardiology. But eventually, by the second or third year, I started to like endocrinology a lot more, because there was so more to it. I mean, there were so many aspects of endocrinology, to be looked into, so many areas where a little bit of diagnosis, a small test made all the difference. It's like,
Yeah.
putting in a
Yeah.
missing piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So that appealed to me again. Thank God. I mean, I managed to pass the entrance examination, and then I got into endocrinology, and I have been very, very happy that I chose this field. It really, really gives me a lot of pleasure to be in endocrinology. In fact, I tell my family that when I'm angry with them, I'll go and sit on my table, and then I'm okay. Then my mood is all set. So yes, it's been a good journey in endocrinology, and I'm happy I chose this field.
Yeah, yeah. It seems as though you truly found your purpose for life. So that's amazing. So who believed in you before the world knew your name? Like, was there any one patient or a mentor or something, who changed your career forever? The turning point.
Who believed in me? I think my family, my parents, who were always there for me. There was never a point where I wanted to do something with my academic career and they said like no, or there were any hindrances. They were only very, very supportive, extremely supportive. Even later on, when I was doing my DM, my child was 2 years old. So I had to, most of the time, leave him with my parents, who kind of the next 3 years, they were the parents for him. They almost took care of every aspect because I couldn't be there most of the time. So the support from my parents have been immense, extremely strong. That is one major, strong point for me, one of the major pillars for me. Turning points in my career, I would say the decision to come to Siliguri, because I was working with a corporate sector in Gurgaon and a very good endocrinology department. It was all set, everything was all well. But somehow I felt that, I want a little more of perhaps personal interaction, just not one more doctor in the corporate setup, because where I could be very easily replaced. So that thought was there in my mind, though I loved my group there, the very good team there in endocrinology in Medanta, as you would know. But I wanted to come back east, number one, and number two, I wanted to be having grown up in a smaller place. I wanted to come back to a smaller place where people around, where people around know you. That feeling was very important for me. So that, I think, was one of the major turning points in my career.
Yeah. Truly, like the one-on-one connection that we have in such cities or smaller ones definitely makes a difference. So one quick one, looking back today, what would you tell your younger self?
I think, my younger self was actually a very strong version. Yeah, I would rather say now I might have sort of I think twice maybe doing something. My younger self was very confident. Didn't look much beyond, just looked at two poles, that this is my next goal and that's it. I'm not going to look way beyond. So I think my younger self, I'll say that you've done well. I'll actually have to learn back some things from you, the confidence and I had no fear about losing anything. Now, once you've reached at a particular position, a particular age, there are so many things you think about now before stepping. Younger self was flamboyant and free and didn't worry about anything and went ahead with it. So I'll say I'll rather learn from you. But yes, the achievements, I'll tell my younger self that achievements are actually the trust that you are going to eventually get from your patients in your practice in everyday life.
True. So thank you very much. That was an amazing segment. Over to Dr. Rukia for the next segment.
Wonderful, Dr. Arundhati. You're still absolutely fearless and a very, very brave person. I don't think it's easy to jump from Shillong to Guwahati to go to Delhi. You went from a small town to the most busiest place, and then decided that no, I am missing my roots and I want to come back to Siliguri. So that's really nice, fantastic. So let's get into your journey about the hormones that you are in, the female metabolic code. When we talk about metabolism, it's generally coming to talk about only when it's in the name of calories or weight. So that's how people are describing their metabolism. But you understand that, beneath this surface lies an orchestra of hormones which influence everything, from your mood, from your sleep, from your fertility, and your confidence. So I think that's also why we change over a period of years. So, when everyone is talking about hormones, but very, very few people are actually understanding them. If you had to describe a woman's hormonal journey as a book, what would be your opening chapter?
Well, maybe I would call it the silent symphony, because hormones are not visible, they're invisible. And yet they are influencing almost every aspect of a woman's life, from growth to puberty to fertility, as you said, metabolism, mood, sleep, bone, and eventually aging. And the most fascinating thing about hormones is that none of them are working in isolation. They, as you said, they're an orchestra. So when every instrument is in harmony, everything is flowing smoothly, health is maintained. But when one note goes out of tune, the whole symphony can change. So that is something that I would maybe call the first chapter, is that it's invisible, it's silent, but it's very strongly there.
Absolutely. So wonderfully. Yeah, the silent symphony is the perfect way to describe the hormones. And when you come across puberty, PCOS, pregnancy, menopause, and aging, so which life stage do you believe women neglect the most between this? So which do you think, actually deserves most attention, but women are not paying attention to that?
So I would definitely say it's like the menopausal transition. See,
Okay.
because we are generally, for puberty, we're generally preparing girls for puberty, right? We're kind of celebrating pregnancy. But very few women are actually prepared for perimenopause and what comes along: the weight gain, the sleep disturbance, the mood changes, the loss of the muscle, the metabolism getting going into disarray, and a lot of time they think it's just normal aging and they kind of suffer in silence. So that is the reason, because that is one decade where you have a huge window of opportunity, because if we make proper lifestyle changes, we put in proper medical care and education, we can prevent so much and we can decrease the distress to a large extent. So many people are so very unaware about what perimenopause or menopause brings along, and they just actually suffer in silence. Even the most educated sector, who are otherwise aware about a lot more, they do not know much about menopause. You'll see so many people going into early menopause maybe, and never been told about hormone replacement therapy, never been told about that some things are normal. When you look at husbands who are complaining about the mood changes, or maybe in this they'll just say that, when is this going to end. You need to explain it to the entire family what it is coming along, the entire bit of it. So I think definitely that part of a female's life is something we need to talk about more, in terms of science, in terms of everything, in terms of what she needs, the environment, the family support, everything. We need to talk
Right.
about it much more. Yeah.
So, a lot of our audience is at a perimenopausal age here, and even us. So, I would just ask you if two lifestyle changes, if you would want to give any women that, you're around your mid 40s, and, anything that you should start doing now if you have not done it, so that can help you ease through your menopause, what would that be?
So just being aware about, some changes that are inevitable, that are going to be there. So for example, let's talk about muscle changes. So you can definitely ask them to go for resistance training and all, which is important, not like much later, but not before, like before the problems have set in. You can ask them to go for proper exercise, look for the, maybe diabetes or dyslipidemia, look for them. The sleep patterns are going to change, so if needed, you can put in a little bit of help in whatever helps, whether it's yoga or a little bit of music therapy, or if required, some medicine, whatever what it does. So I would basically say that the weight gain, the fatigue, the sleep problems, the metabolic disarray is going to be there. If you know about it, then you'll know what to look for, what are the tests to be done, what are the precautions to be taken. So all in all, I think that bit we just need to spread a little bit of more, awareness in the society, talk
Yeah.
more about it. It's only when we metabolic physicians start talking about it more that people will become more aware about it, not after the problems have set in. HRT, like recently I had given a talk on HRT to a public awareness program, and they were like, "Nee, nee, ma'am, this is not a good thing. We know that it causes heart problem." So much of ignorance, right? We need to go ahead and tell them what it actually means, where should it be given, where not, why should they suffer, why should they have the, extreme hot flushes, inability to sleep, and why, when we can give them some respite. So
Right.
awareness definitely needs to increase here.
You're true. Absolutely. Uh, yes, I think there is some noise which has started around, but I think it's about having more and talks so that things becomes easier to pass through that phase of life. So when you have studied, looking back over your years of endocrinology, what has surprised you about women's understanding of their own bodies?
What has surprised me is that even very educated people tend to take their bodies so, lightly. They don't understand their bodies, they ignore symptoms, they, say irregular periods or unexplained weight gain or fatigue. They just kind of let it be. The in most families, even now, even with all the kind of awareness and all the me time that we talk about, and all the, importance to women's health, a lot, it has improved, of course, over the last few
Yeah.
years. But even then, mostly in the family, the lady is going to talk about herself last. She will, maybe when a couple is coming to you, she'll say, husband ko pehle dekh lijiye. So that is still the attitude. They'll still,
Yeah.
that is what surprises me, that they don't understand that they have, if they want to be the pillar for their family, they have to be strong themselves. That is something that I feel is still very, 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 very missing in the society. That needs to be reinforced.
Yeah, women need to understand that their health is a priority because they are like the engine of the family. If she is fine and she's fit, then the whole train will be running smoothly.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, there'll be a lot of jerks if she has problems. So, what are your
Physical
worries?
and mental. Physical and mental, both.
Both.
The
Yes.
aspects of health. Yes.
Yes. So, what worries you most about the future of women's metabolic health?
The same, the challenge, the rising epidemic, obesity, metabolic disease. You see so many teenagers coming to you with insulin resistance, with PMOS, with pre-diabetes, and so the challenge is basically now, I think, from reacting to the disease, from there we need to go to preventing it. So that is the biggest challenge over the next few years. If we are successful, then these teenagers will grow up into young, healthy women. Otherwise, they'll grow up, to have obesity or diabetes or dyslipidemia and take it as naturally. That is something we cannot allow. The metabolic health, we have to teach women about metabolic health, that it is not about looking thin. It is about protecting your future. That is what we need to talk about.
Oh, lovely, lovely, Dr. Arundhati. So, one quick one. What is the biggest myth women believe about hormones?
So they'll generally say that I have a hormonal problem. Now, which hormonal problem are you talking about? Everything that's happening is because and if by chance they have a TSH level of 5 or 4, 4.5, they'll say that everything on earth is happening because of that TSH level. That is, I think, one of the biggest myths. I mean, we really, really need to break that. And some doctors will also tell them, "हाँ, जो भी हो रहा है वो आप अपने endocrinologist को जाके बताइए." So I'm like, your TSH is like 4. It is not causing these problems. There are so many hormones in your body. Which hormone are you talking about? So hormones are blamed for a lot of things. It's the easiest way to get out of a difficult situation. So
Yes.
understanding hormones, hormones are something to be, I always tell my patients, hormones are something to be respected. You don't have to fear hormones. They're your friends. They're not your enemies. So that is there, I think, yeah.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much for giving us this insight about metabolism. Thank you, Dr. Arundhati. Over to you,
Sure.
Dr. Pranjali, for your segment.
Thank you so much, Rukia. So yeah, absolutely, you are talking, when we see as a diabetologist, if the sugars are 180 and if some complication happens to any patient, they will blame no diabetologist or endocrinologist ko jaake bataiye, this everything is happening because of the sugar levels are high. Yes, that daily we face some sort of issues in our clinic.
Yeah.
Lovely. So my next segment is about breaking barriers, leadership beyond the clinic. We know that medicine is evolved, but leadership still comes with challenges. We see all the medals, we see all the academic excellences, but often we miss what challenges or struggles a woman must have faced when she becomes a leader, especially a doctor. So ma'am, I would like to know, when you are practicing in your vicinity, have you ever felt struggles, especially when you have to work double compared to your males counterparts or male doctors, and what stereotypes about women doctors still exist today?
I think all of us have faced it. I mean, if somebody has said that I have not faced any discrimination, uh, that person will be very lucky. You are judged twice as much. I mean, you have to work twice as much. You have to let your work speak louder than your words. I mean, because there will be so many judgmental areas, particularly, uh, when you have a small child. So they'll immediately assume that you will not be able to put in enough time. There'll be areas where you will be drawn away. There'll be, I mean, that you will not put in as much effort as your male counterparts. So
Yes.
that assumption, that judgment, I think is the thing that a lot of us face. I also faced it. And of course, had to work much more to prove that I'm, at part. Today, maybe after so many years of working in a particular place, and also maybe because the wrinkles have come in. So now people are not maybe, putting in that quarter, but young girls are, I think, definitely judged. That's stereotypical. And one more thing is that when you're reacting to some situation, so you don't like something, you say something, you'll be immediately branded as emotional.
Yeah,
Females are emotional. So
yes.
they really need to understand, even now they, so even when I'm saying this, maybe somebody, a male who's hearing that, there's the emotional con. It's not. you are, you have studied, you have worked hard, you have reached there, and nobody's given that to you because you're a female. There was no reservation for being a female. So you have worked just as much hard. Your intelligence should not be questioned, your effort should not be questioned, your empathy should not be questioned. You might have priorities set, but that I don't think for any of us we let it affect our work. So
Yeah.
and in fact, I have a team. In my team, most of them are women, and I always feel that they are more committed, the empathy is more. This is not taking away anything from our male colleagues. They are very good at their work. This is not taking it away. But my point is, I do not want to walk ahead, but I'm definitely going to walk at par. I'm not going to let you walk ahead also. So everybody is at par. But saying that, and getting people around you to believe in that in you is a different story. I think all of us, I'm sure all of us would have faced it. We've had our set of challenges, we've fought it in different ways. But yeah, it's still there. It's still there. So leadership, again, is not about gender. It's not about the loudest voice. It is about developing a team. It is about helping people grow. It is making difficult, tough decisions with fairness,
Yeah.
and basically creating an environment where you can thrive at your best and the people around you can also thrive at their best. That's, I think.
Exactly, absolutely. So, ma'am, when was that defining moment in your life that you felt now you're not just a clinician, now you've become a leader? So was there any moment where you felt now, abhi mera position thoda change ho gaya, something like that? Yeah.
So I was, my change came. I did not choose to be a leader or even an entrepreneur. I did not choose to be that. It was kind of thrust on me. So I was working in a corporate sector. And at that time, my child was 5.5. So I wanted to work in a corporate sector. Like, it made, you had fixed hours of work and all that kind of help. But after a point in time, I felt as if I was not being given my due recognition. And even when I tried saying something, and it was like, "ठीक है, आप शाम को घर जाइए ना, you go and look after your child," and I'm like, "You're not going to decide that. Nobody decides that for me. What I want to do, you're just going to talk to me as a professional." So that was one day I had it, and I was like, "Finished. I'm done. I'm not working here anymore." Fine, I resigned. But I had no plan B. Where would I go and sit from the next day? Like, I didn't have a job in hand. So then I thought, I'm not going for any job. I'm going to start my own clinic. Let's see what happens. So when that particular day, I still remember, almost like 6-7 hours, I went around looking for a place because I didn't even have a place where am I going to sit. So then found something. It was initially a very small place, a 500 square feet thing. Started developing, didn't know how to manage all your
Yeah.
things. You had to have a receptionist, you have to have somebody who's managing your this thing, you have to have chairs and tables, everything's from scrap. And we started off from there. And thankfully today we've reached a position where we have our own setup. We've got a, different other aspects of treatment also being incorporated. My husband is a neurologist, so we have neurology, endocrinology, we have other departments. We have a full-fledged setup, a 12,000 square feet setup. So now things are in place in a particular place, not like absolutely we're not reached absolutely where you want, but yeah, okay, we're comfortable. So I think leadership was thrust on me, and I'm so thankful that it was. I'm so thankful to the man who spoke to me so roughly on that particular day. Otherwise I might have still been working there, in that job, if it would have been so comfortable. So it's always like, when it is not very comfortable, it's actually a blessing in disguise because it helps
Yes,
you
yes.
grow.
Exactly. So, in fact, last week we were discussing about something happens in our life and we connect the dots, and then we realize, yeah, that time we feel bad about the incidents, what has happened. But when in future we connect the dots, yeah, so we are lucky that, yeah, thankfully that has happened. That's why now you are at this position. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So now you said
Absolutely.
you have a big setup, right? And we handle, as a doctor, we handle many various roles. Like, from we are seeing a lot of violences also against the doctor. At the same time, we see empathy. We need to treat our patients, uh, with emotional aspect also we need to keep. So when you're handling daily situations, how do you keep your sanity or your emotional resilience when you're handling a hospital and your patients?
At times it's difficult, all of us know that, because um, medicine is a wonderful profession, but it's also very demanding.
Yeah.
It's physically, emotionally demanding. So while we are celebrating our recoveries, we also have to share the disappointments, uncertainties, the loss, the failures, all of it, right? And as you said, uh, behavior, aggressive behavior. So you have to choose a pathway where you are also not getting worked up a lot. You're kind of dissuading the situation while at the same time not allowing the person to kind of take an advantage because of certain things. So that striking that fine balance is difficult. I think in today's world it's all the more difficult because every other person will come and say that I am so and so, I know so and so, I have had treatment. And particularly, if you stay in a smaller place, people think that, they'll come back from maybe Chennai, they'll come back from Mumbai, and they'll be like all high and mighty because if they come back from there, and they were like, I've shown a doctor in Mumbai, and he actually said that what you gave was correct. So I told him, yeah, the endocrinology books were the same. They were not made different for the doctor in Siliguri and the doctor in Chennai. So that kind of thing, initially when I started, I used to get very angry. Like, what is this? Why is this? Every time you see them, then they're going to run off to Chennai or Mumbai. This happens from the East. And that's a very, very frustrating thing. But eventually I've just learned to let it go. It's like, okay, yeah, fine, fine. So I think over a period of time, you kind of adjust to it. But yeah, every day you have to maintain your confidence and you have to control your emotions and sometimes anger, sometimes your reactions. And I think, again, it gets better as you go along. You learn to react less and say a little lesser. Maybe 10 years back, I would have reacted a lot more to a particular situation. But now maybe I'll hold it back a little bit. Over the time, it helps, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes. So thank you so much for your all the answers and inputs. Lovely talking to you, ma'am. And over to you, Dr. Ritu, for your next segment.
I always, whenever I've been seeing Dr. Arundhati, I have also seen and not forgotten to see that people get intimidated. People, whether it is the male speakers, whether the panelists, and that is what I really love about you, Dr. Arundhati. And when you're saying this, that it's about the people from East thinking that they go to Chennai or they go to Mumbai, or it exists everywhere. So I think it is about the patients, it's their mindset that they want to validate, and they don't understand that when they're trying to actually give you a compliment, and hey, you know what, I tried to look over whether you were giving me the right treatment, and I'm happy that it was right. But understand that it's actually not the validation that is a compliment, but it's a comment. You take it as. So I always take it, as a very funny gesture, and I always return it back to them, saying that, sometimes that, oh, great, I'm so glad I didn't know whether I'm treating right or not. Thanks for bringing this to me. And then kind of shapes them back into their conversation. But yes, I think, like you said, we get wiser with every single learning. With each passing day, we get more mature with the way we respond. Like you said, that, you would react in a different way. I think each one of us, gets these kind of experiences, not only from patients, even in our personal lives, like you were saying when you were a small girl versus now. So I think great learnings to us, and more power to you on that. So
Thank you.
and with that, moving to the next segment now, talking about the woman beyond medicine. So we've of course seen how you've beautifully shaped, like the butterfly. Your journey has been so colorful and so inspiring. And we know that anytime that you're leading these kind of professions, there is a lot of change, like a 360-degree change, like Rukia said, due to hormones, like Pranjali said, due to experience. So this particular segment is going to talk about the rest of the part of you, which is your personal grounds. So, healing others is your profession, right? But nurturing your own family is your privilege. You just mentioned about your 5-year-old also when you were working. After carrying the emotional weight of your patients through the day, how do you refill your own cup and ensure that your loved ones receive the best version of you?
So that thing, I think I have somehow been lucky enough to maintain. I just switch off because now my son is that 5-year-old is 20-year-old. So now I don't need to do much. I mean, he's gone now, he's outside studying. But earlier on, when he needed me, and you're 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, he needed me. So I had to, and I also was very sure about this fact that I would have to be there when he's studying or when he's eating, when he's sleeping. I wanted to be there, and thankfully staying in a smaller place where communication and transport doesn't take a lot of time, that helps. So, but I have always done this. When I am out of the clinic, there's just a switch off. I don't, and this is something that I keep telling my husband, who always keeps, he's a neurologist, all the time he's like thinking about his problem, or his patient is calling him up or something or the other. And I'm like, absolutely not done. When I'm at home, I'm the mother or the wife or the homemaker, whatever you call me, I'm there. I have to be there. And that was very important, because when the children are growing up, they know the whole day you're not going to be there. But when
Yeah,
you're there, you
absolutely.
should be there, not only physically, but also mentally,
Correct.
emotionally. That is something I felt was very important. So there were things which I could have handed over to my helping hands, but I chose not
Mm.
to. And I think that I have really loved that bit of, while the child was growing up, those aspects, those
Absolutely.
bedtime stories, those eating together, those, small walks, those were really important parts of life, which I really, really cherish now. So I would think that that is something I think we need to do. And I've been lucky enough that I have been able to do it to a certain extent, so that I've enjoyed both the passion regarding the profession, and also the passion about being there for the family. And that kind of rejuvenates you for the next day. You're ready for the next day, to come up for and to deal with all the
So
challenges, right?
totally agree with you. And I think probably this is another power, or I don't know, maybe the emotional intelligence that women carry, that they can actually switch off. I've rarely
Yes,
seen
yes.
men being able to do that. Most of the male doctors, I think I hear the same with most of the females we talk to, that, when they are at home versus when the men are at home, it's absolutely different. They'll still be within their surgeries, or you're managing the patients, or managing some issues, or some hospital
Yes.
admin, but that's not with the women. I mean, of course, we may switch it off to different degrees, but then yes, we do know that this juggling is very, very critical for
Yeah.
us. And this just reminds me of one particular episode when I was small. So I'm the first doctor in my family, but I remember seeing one of the doctor couples, and they were really working very hard towards bringing up their babies and simultaneously creating their careers, building a hospital. And trust me, all the society used to say is, "Oh my God, never should two doctors marry because the child is not looked after. It's the maid who takes care of the kid." So it's ultimately, it's not something that the society is going to ever understand, but it's about the parents, or the family, either one, the mother or the father, who takes the step towards the child. And like you said, it is absolute, uh, I would say, a good rejuvenation to be with the kids, because that kind of helps you forget all the stress.
Yes.
So kudos to you for doing that so
And
beautifully.
to you, and to all of everyone out here, I'm sure.
I totally agree with you. So a pat on our backs for that. The next question is that, is there any particular episode that you remember, Dr. Arundhati, where you felt that, oh my God, I did not do this well, but probably that became your greatest teacher? So I think one of them you just mentioned, like, for example, when you said that somebody gave you a push, you got uncomfortable, and that's how you launched yourself into the career. Anything like this in medical field, or anything that you still feel you're thankful to, like you were in that situation?
So not like really did not go well, but there have been instances when now I feel I could have dealt with that better. Maybe
Hmm.
I could have done this instead of that. There are always such situations.
Understood.
There have been one or two episodes in my where patients. I have had a patient who believed in me very, very strongly, but I was out of the
Right.
country, and
Right.
she kind of had an attack and she expired. Now when I came back and I came to this news, and this news hit me, there was nothing that I could have done. But
Yeah.
I just felt after that I always keep my WhatsApp on. I mean, prior to that I would kind of stop it, like, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
there, my junior's dealing with it. Not that I would
Mhm.
have made any difference, but for her it would
Right.
have been better to, I mean, she would have loved to hear my voice, I think. I knew. So
Yeah.
these are certain, ever since, if I go out of the country, I'm out of, at least I keep my WhatsApp on, so that people are at least able to reach if they have to. So there
Yeah.
are small things, I think, here and there, where, as all of
Mm.
you have said, that we evolve, we learn about smaller things, and most importantly, you understand about that the trust that people place in you overall,
Absolutely.
because endocrinology or diabetology, these are chronic branches. So the people stay on with you, your
Absolutely.
patients stay on with you, and you see them
Yeah.
over the years, young people becoming older, becoming a little more older. So all
Right.
of that, your type 1 patients, as they grow up, that attachment,
Right.
that bonding, that is something that I have learned to cherish. Initially, maybe I just saw them as a doctor. Today, after 15 years of practice, I see
Mm.
them as a part of an extended family. A lot of them. I'm sure all
Right.
of you do that also. And that connection is something that I have learned to cherish. That is something I've learned over the years, I think.
beautifully you put that across, because I totally can relate that, and I'm sure other colleagues can too as well. That sometimes it's just about they just feel great. I mean, when they say that एक बार आपको देखना है, yeah, like you said, that probably just wanting to know that, oh, Dr. Arundhati knows about me. Okay, then
Yes,
I'm not
yes,
doing
yes.
well. And probably that's the hope that they get, that, okay, I'll be better now. So I think beautiful thought you shared. What legacy do you hope to leave behind, Dr. Arundhati? If every young girl was, watching today, so young aspiring doctors who want to step into and become the next Dr. Arundhati Das Gupta, what advice would you give her?
I think you should not try to be anybody else. You might want to incorporate something from this person and something else from the other person, but you should be your best self, and nothing can be better than that. I don't think I've reached a position where I can say I would want to leave behind a legacy. No, I've not reached there. We're all striving to just become better versions of ourselves. But anybody, any young girl, if they tell me ever, you have these young girls who want to become
Yes,
doctors, maybe they appear
absolutely.
for their NEET and they come and say, I want to become
Yes,
like you. So no,
yes,
you don't want to become like me. You want to be the best version of yourself. So, and of
absolutely.
course, look around. I would just say look around, try to incorporate good things from the others that you see, from your seniors, your friends.
True.
There are so many things to learn. You know, I will acknowledge, and this is no flattery, I have learned a lot of positivity from you all. I have seen the kind of positivity you have in your group, the kind of positive vibes you have, and I really really admire that. I honestly admire that. So people
So
generally
sweet.
think that females, when they're going to sit together, they're just going to be, and that's so
Yes.
wrong. There's so much of positivity generated. So my go-to is always my female group, and like any male who's looking at this, I mean, hearing this, I'm going to say they're all against men bashing, but it's not that so. So generally, that is again a very very positive thing to learn. So you learn from
Yes.
others. So I would say any younger person, anyone, just learn, pick up, imbibe the positive things that you see around you.
Wonderful. I love that thought, because yes, I totally agree with you that, um, uh, but again, bringing up the fact, the reason the question is there, that, people, they always like role models. I want to be like so and so, I want to be like so and so. And it's a great way to show them this perspective that, look at making yourself, as the best person of your own version, and then
Yes.
imbibing all the qualities. I truly love that. I'll surely use that somewhere. So, coming to the last question of my segment, you spent years decoding the female metabolic code. And if you could leave behind every woman with just one lifelong prescription, which is not a medicine, but probably a mindset, what would it be?
A mindset again is that female metabolic code is the, you need to understand about how a female's body, the ability to adapt. We have to
Yes,
adapt across so many stages of life, right? Even
right.
males have to do that, but females have to do it a lot more, right? So from
Yes.
puberty to pregnancy to perimenopause to menopause, there are so many adaptations. So I think it's
Yes.
just about understanding it, accepting it, and making the necessary changes. That is what I would basically put forward, simply put.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for answering those so beautifully, Dr. Arundhati. Clearly, your aura as well as the speech has so much clarity, has so much grace. Truly enjoyed speaking with you. Now, moving on to Dr. Lotika for her segment.
Yeah, it's really been so nice hearing you, Arundhati, and all the that you have said has been so inspiring. We have some questions from the audience. One is that you've spent years decoding hormones and helping thousands of women understand their bodies. If life itself was a hormone, what do you think is the one force that would keep you balanced throughout every stage of your life?
If life were a hormone, I think it would be purpose. Uh,
Purpose? Okay.
you have to,
Hmm.
yes, the purpose of whatever you're doing. If you have that set, then I think it
Hmm.
will work in a beautiful, orchestrated way.
Okay. So, what is the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear the word hormone? Because I know, like a lot of our patients blame all their problems on the hormone. But as an endocrinologist, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word hormone?
So hormones are, I would say the word would be communication. Because remember, hormones are silent messengers that are allowing the organs across the body, metaphorically speaking, to communicate seamlessly. So that communication has to be clear. When that is clear, hormones are working well, it's clear. When that communication is disrupted, then disease follows. So hormones just they're not kind of not just regulating our body, they're telling us a story of good communication and how that helps in proper functioning of the body.
Yeah, that is so nice. Yeah. So now, while we do hear a lot about menopause, and I don't think enough is spoken about menopause and the things that happen. So, do you think, but now because of the media, social media, menopause is finally entering into the mainstream conversations? Are we doing enough while speaking about it, while treating it?
No, ma'am. I mean, we're certainly doing better than what we were doing maybe about a decade ago. But we're still definitely not doing enough. In fact, we are far from it. Because
Okay.
menopause shouldn't become a conversation only after all the symptoms have appeared and there's so much of distress. It should be discussed earlier, just like we talk about puberty earlier. When you're talking about pregnancy, they know about what is going to happen, what is expected. So similarly, menopause needs to be spoken about. We really need to move away from treating menopause as the end of youth. We just and that's every time I'm giving a talk on HRT, that's what I tell them, that please stop thinking about HRT as something that is given to frail wrinkled women. They're not. 50 plus women are just dynamic women these days. So it's not the
Yes,
end
that's
of youth
right.
at all. It's just the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of another phase of an extended youth. That's it. So
Okay.
I think education, lifestyle advices, timely medical advice, individualized treatment, all of that will make a lot of difference in terms of, what's happening to females when they're entering perimenopause or menopause.
Yes, that's right. So now we shift gears and we move on to the next segment, which is the rapid fire segment, which is called the pulse of life. So this we lighten up with questions wherein the answer should be quick, instinctive, and honest, probably in one word or one sentence. So should we start?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, yeah, so is Dr. Arundhati a morning person or a night owl?
morning.
Morning person. Okay. So, what is the one hormone you wish that everyone respected? Insulin, thyroid, or estrogen, or any other?
All of them, actually. But if you ask me one, maybe estrogen.
Estrogen. That's nice. POMS or menopause, which deserves more public awareness today?
Both.
Both.
Both. We cannot
But if
choose
you
one
were
over
to
the other.
choose one,
Then maybe today I'll say menopause, because PMS at least has some amount of noise about it.
okay.
Menopause lags behind strongly, but actually both.
Okay. One food that Dr. Arundhati never compromises on.
Mom's food.
Okay, home cooked food.
Mom's cooked home food
Yeah,
is the best
mom's
any
cooked
day.
food. Yeah, that's always the best. So, one healthy habit that every woman should adopt before the age of 30.
Exercising regularly. I think that has to be incorporated. Yeah.
That's nice. So, yoga, gym, or walking, what do you vouch for?
I think gym works a little better because it's more
Yeah.
coordinated. Simply because it's
Okay.
more coordinated. But yeah, but all of them are good again.
No, that's nice. Then, one thing that people will be surprised to know about you.
That I might appear intimidating, but I'm internally I'm like not that intimidating. I'm actually quite I'm quite dependent on a lot regarding a lot of areas emotionally and all. Also, though apparently I don't look so. I think that it. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Then, which is the one woman leader who has inspired you? Or there could be more?
There have been plenty, actually. It'll be difficult to name one. I always look forward to, looking at the lives of, female leaders, because all of us know they have to cross more hurdles. And when we look at the biography of such leaders, I'll not be able to name one. Sorry, I think that is one question. Probably I'm failing at this answer. But yeah.
Okay. You said hormones are the silent symphony, but if hormones could speak, what would they say?
They would just say,
What
do
would
not do
hormones say?
anything that disrupts the orchestra. I mean, maintain, the changes in life which are positive, which do not disrupt us. If we are disrupted by our own autoimmunity, there is nothing that you can do about it. But at least don't let your environment disrupt us, the endocrine disruptors.
Yeah. True. That's so true, because that's such a powerful thing to say, because these days endocrine disruptors are in everything, and we really don't know what disrupts the hormones. If your journey had a title, what would it be?
I don't really know what the title, but maybe I have lived with a passion and a purpose, and may I continue to live so, and till my last day. I think that would be what I would want.
Yeah, that is so nice. It's so sharp, sincere, and so authentic, just like what Vibe stands for. Now I hand over to Dr. Ritu for the closing.
Sure, thank you so much. Dr. Arundhati, you've truly been, a dynamite, I would say. And it was so pleasurable hearing all your statements. And I truly love the last one. Nicely, smartly, Lotika has put me here, so I have to speak less now. So, for closing, what we do, Dr. Arundhati, is quickly we take one learning from each one of them, or what has touched specifically out of your entire pearls of wisdom that you have shared. So, may I start with the Kavita?
Thanks, Dr. Ritu. So it has been amazing afternoon with you, Dr. Arundhati, and we've learned so much from your life lessons, life stories. So one thing I learned is that hormones are silent communicators, and they're constantly with you at your every step, every phase in life. So which means that education becomes as much and equally important in the later life, which you mentioned that we sort of need to focus. So I'm going to do that, and in my practice henceforth, I'm going to incorporate that for females. So thank you very much. Over to Dr. Rukia.
Wonderful. Pranjali?
Okay.
Rukia.
Anjali or Rukia? So I'll start.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are in
Acha,
so we'll have some common things. That's so I have everything which was what Dr. Arundhati was talking. It was a learning lesson for me. But the main thing which right now I'm struggling is switch on, switch off, which I was discussing. So even if I'm at home, the continuously the to-do list is not stopping in my mind. So that's something I have, it is in my mind which you were talking, and I really want to work on this, especially when I leave the hospital or when I go home. I need to switch off. I need to learn to switch off. That was my takeaway from today's session. Rukia.
It was so wonderful, Dr. Arundhati. I really liked, like you say, that you were so fearless and you were so outspoken when you were as a child, which you think that over a period of years now you have learned to react less. But what I like best is be yourself, when you said that. Just be what you are. If people think you are intimidating, it's fine. I am. I think that's just being yourself. It's great, yes, but with that, this wiseness that incorporate good things from other people, but be the best version of yourself. So I think that was amazing. And also, like how when you said that, when things are uncomfortable, it's an actually blessing in disguise, because then it helps you to grow. And yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. And leadership is about taking difficult decisions with fairness.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Lotika?
Yeah, so I think pretty much covered everything, but still, I like the way you describe the hormones, the silent symphony, because really, I mean, we we working in a field are only scratching the surface, but there is so much that goes on in our bodies which can be attributed to the hormone, and yet which cannot be attributed to the hormone also. Like so many patients come saying that, it could be because of the thyroid, it could be the hormones, yet, so that is something, and we must continue to see to it that the hormones don't get disrupted and they continue to work as well. That was so powerful. And of course, be the best version of yourself. Don't copy anybody. You might be inspired by many people, but be your own person. That is so powerful.
I loved it when she said that, endocrinology books are the same. I'm going
That is true.
Absolutely. And I think I would also want to say that, I love the way she said that, people may feel I'm intimidating, but I'm not. Okay. So also people who she wants, I'm not like that. So if you're thinking maybe I'm not like that. So that's amazing. And also
I think I like that.
see the vibe. Yeah, I can totally see the vibe of Dr. Arundhati. I just loved your costume. So I would, summarize saying that Dr. Arundhati, you truly, though you feel you're still not done much, you are leaving, you are creating chapters to leave behind legacy. And that's the reason we really are so thankful to you to be here on the vibe. I'm sure there'll be umpteen number of people who may have seen today and will continue to see on our channel, on our YouTube channel, and get inspired by whatever you've said today. And trust me, what I really love the most about you, and as all the girls have already mentioned, but the fact that you want to continue to learn, you want to still continue your journey. That's the most beautiful thing I learned about you. And I think that gives so much power to you, knowing that you've always been able to prioritize your family, your work. Still, neither of it has ever, taken a back seat. And then, of course, also being a great wife, a great mother, while being a great doctor, and of course, a brilliant one. So, for people who've not heard her, please go ahead and hear her. And if there's any debate happening, you cannot afford to miss Dr. Arundhati, because she's the one who sets the stage on fire. So,
thank you so much. Am I allowed one sentence?
Yes, you are allowed to say some closing words, please.
Yeah. So just that, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I am honored. I'm humbled that you should think that I'm in a position that, to be here as a guest. Thank you. And very honestly, as I've said earlier also, there is so much to learn from all of you here. And most importantly, the positive vibes. I absolutely love it. I loved being a part of this. Honestly, believe me, I mean, okay, I was talking about myself, but I was also in the process seeing your responses, what you've taken. I mean, it's amazing. So, all kudos to you for thinking about this and carrying it across so beautifully. So thanks on behalf of all the females who are watching it, who are going to watch it. Your positivity is the strongest point out here. Trust me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arundhati. Truly humbled. So with that for the closing, we do a little drama. This is W we form with 4 fingers. So may I request you to do the same?
Okay.
Yeah, so that forms a W. And then we basically, at the count of 3, we say be the vibe, because it's like vibe stands for women, inspire, build, and add. So be the vibe. This is our signature closing, actually. So let's do it. 2, 1, go. Be
the
the
vibe.
vibe.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Arundhati.
Thank you.
It was such a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank
It
you
was a
so much.
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Bye.
See
Bye,
you
ma'am.
soon.
Bye. Wait, has he
Can we
stopped
stop
the
the
recording?
recording, Montessor? Thank you.